culture is more than just entertainment. It's a lens into society, relationships, and human behavior. I'm Grace, and here on The Grace Report, we dive into stories beyond the headlines. Whether it's reality TV drama, celebrity scandals, or royal family intrigue, I'm here to break it all down. What it means, why it matters, and how it reflects the world we live in. Join the conversation, share your take, and let's make sense of the culture shaping our lives one story at a time. Good morning, sunshine. How are y'all feeling today? We are halfway through the week on this. Listen, do you hear that? That is a trifling dog that had all day to drink water and then decide to drink water until she heard me open up my mouth. Y'all, I'm talking about you to start filming. Oh, how rude. Good morning, Michelle. Good morning, Holly. Good morning, Thea. Good morning, Ronnie. Good morning, Venetia. Ashley, HB in the house from DC. So nice to see you. And Allie's here too. Good morning, Allie girl. Malen, Jessica. Wow, I love seeing y'all trickle in. Do you remember how I told you guys that the gym that I told you guys this yesterday, right? That the gym I go to, they're just so wonderful. They let you work with a personal trainer once a month. So today I had my appointment, and this is the workout plan that they made for me, that I got made for me with my personal trainer. I was so happy. I was like, wow, like I've been coming to the gym, just trying to do whatever I can and never really having like a proper plan and blah, blah. Like I downloaded these apps and I enjoyed them, but like just now having this in my hand. And then I have my next appointment with him this time next month to see how things are going. I feel like I'm on the right track finally. So I'm really, 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 really excited about that. And I'll keep you guys updated on how the progress goes. Can I tell y'all an embarrassing story? Please don't repeat this. Okay, well, let me tell y'all what happened. So I have a gym bag, right? And yesterday I said, okay, I really want to be like prudent in not looking like, my usual way at the gym. So usually when I go to the gym, I wear a sports bra, I wear leggings. And I said, listen, I'm doing one-on-one coaching. Ideally I'd have a female coach, but it could be a man. So maybe just like wear a shirt or something, So I laid out all my outfit. I chose out a shirt. Then this morning I said, you know what? Let me switch out this shirt for that shirt. And it was all black everything, but I wanted a different black shirt. When I get to the gym, and mind you, today I'm wearing a skirt. This is my skirt. And then these are my leggings, okay? Hang on. These are my leggings. So I get to the gym, and I am like putting on like my clothes. So I got my sports bra. Then I put on my shirt. And I said, all right, time for me to put on my leggings. Wait a minute. Time for me to put on my leggings. I got to go. I got my, one-on-one in 10 minutes. Guys, I brought 2 shirts and 2 socks and no leggings. So I did my personal coaching, like my first one-on-one with this coach in this skirt and in these tights. I was so embarrassed. I didn't even want to acknowledge it. I was like, you know what? Because I instead of wearing this top, I wanted to like make it look like, maybe I was wearing a tennis outfit, like those tennis skirts that you could do sports in. I was like, okay, I'll just wear the sports bra and I'll wear like the Under Armour shirt over it. And then he'll think this is like, workout leggings or something. I was mortified, especially when we had to do the leg press. Oh my God, I was mortified. But listen, and this is the first time that this has ever happened to me. And I actually made the concerted effort to put my clothes aside last night. But I guess when I changed one black top for the other black top, the black top was actually black leggings. And so there I was, pantsless for my first one-on-one session. Oh my God, looking like a damn floozy. Oh, mortified, you guys. Absolutely mortified. Ali says, I always have to have an emergency. See, and that's my thing. As like a Pilates girly, I always have to have like 1 or 2 pairs of like the grippy socks too. But I had 2 regular socks and 2 shirts, thinking that I had those damn leggings. Ah! And the guy, he was like so nice too. I didn't acknowledge it because I'm one of the, like, I had a freeze response. I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Do I acknowledge this? Do I not? Like, let's just pass this off. But then when it got to the leg, got a little bit more than he bargained for, didn't he? Oh, Yeah, Ashley, I'm gonna have to start bringing 2 pairs or something. Oh my God, I am mortified, you guys. But you know what? He's such a nice guy, and I'm really excited about this program. Like, I am looking forward to seeing like results and stuff. So I'll keep you guys updated on the journey. You guys, we've got so much to talk about in today's morning. Wait, no, we're not talking about these people. I must have kept my image from last night. No, we're not talking about those people today. In today's morning report, we are going to be talking about Prince Harry stepping down from his charity, Santa Ballet, you know, and I feel really, really badly for him because this is a beloved charity of his. He founded it, but unfortunately, there was a lot of controversy going on, which we will get into a little bit later, that has forced him to step down from that charity, which I think he's doing the right thing. We've got some more details on Garcelle Beauvais walking away from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills as well, which I'm really looking forward to talking to you guys about. And then we're also going to talk about the finale episode of RHOBH, of course. Devin from Love is Blind is calling his ex-fiancee Virginia a liar and promising to come out with his own receipts. And then do you guys remember how when Meghan Markle's With Love Meghan show came out, the press has been frothing at the mouth, trying to make her out to be like this terrible person, and like all just they're always after this girl, right? And they started to triangulate her. They were like, oh, she's no Gwyneth Paltrow. Excuse me? Suddenly y'all like Gwyneth Paltrow, the woman that y'all have been making fun of and calling out of touch, and just, you know, like she used to be the press punching bag, right? So now all of a sudden they're trying to say that Meghan is no Gwyneth. Well, Gwyneth Paltrow entered the chat, and she brought a special guest with her to let the press know, not too much on my girl now. And I absolutely love that for her. So if you guys find yourself enjoying the morning report at any point, please don't hesitate to go ahead, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube knows that you enjoy my content. Okay. Now, without further ado, let's get into the Garcelle of it all. So we talked about this yesterday, but Garcelle is walking away from the show. Some of you lovely people called in to talk to me about it. I know Milan was there, and it was just so amazing to hear you guys' thoughts on why Garcelle was walking away from the show. And so now we've got a couple more details. Shout out to Kempire. Kempire has the tea, you guys, and this is where all of the behind the scenes scoop is coming from. Okay, so again, shout out to you, Kempire, for breaking this story. So apparently, the reason, and you know what, I'm going to drop another call-in link if you guys want to go ahead and share your thoughts on this reason that Garcelle allegedly has for walking away from the show. Okay, so let me take the call-in link, drop it over here in the chat, and y'all go ahead and feel free to join if you'd like to talk about it. Okay, so here we go. According to Kempire sources, Garcelle decided to walk away because she was kind of like ambushed at the show, essentially. So basically, do you know how Garcelle has been making all these comments about Dorit's robbery and how sketchy it looks and whatnot? Well, she was confronted about that at the reunion, and she expected for Sutton to have her back because Sutton pretty much shares the same opinion as well. But per usual, Sutton hung her out to dry. But then this time, and shout out to you guys who were calling this in yesterday's show, but Bose also had something to do with it. Y'all know that Bose rides for Dorit, right? She's got her head very far up Dorit's booty. And so apparently when this topic came up, Bose defended Dorit and said, hey, Garcelle, if you had said that about me, I would have sued you for defamation, just to take things to a very ugly extreme level, which, you know, is not cool. So now I'm seeing a little bit more of why Garcelle said what she said, right? Not all skin folk are kinfolk. Because now, why are you over here telling this lady that she should have been suing me? Very odd, right? And then Bose, however, and I do think that she's valid in this criticism, right? So we all know that just like Bose rides for Dorit and has her head up Dorit's booty, we can say similarly about Garcelle and Sutton, right? And so Sutton, there have been some moments where she has put her foot in her mouth and said some very questionable things. And so Bose decided to bring that up. She's like, oh, you're always coming for my girl. Let me talk about your girl here, right? What about the time where Sutton called me an angry woman? Is that not a microaggression, calling a Black woman angry? Why didn't you check her for that? And that's the thing. Garcelle did put herself in this position on the show of being that person to call out microaggressions and whatnot, right? We remember that happening between her and Kyle, where she had won a product at an auction, and so she was supposed to pay for it, and then apparently she hadn't paid for it when she was supposed to. Kyle called it out, and then Garcelle said that it was some sort of a racist thing to call her out for that. And there have been other instances of that, including calling someone angry or this or that. So I do think that Bose was well within reason to ask the question, why do you call everybody else out about this sort of behavior? However, when Sutton does this stuff, you do not say anything about it. So apparently that was kind of upsetting to Garcelle, and she was not expecting that either. And, especially when those very women that she has been defending all this time, Sutton just sat there on mute, not having her back at all. I think that Sutton at the very least could have said something like, hey, listen, maybe not on the show, but she pulled me to a side later, just something, even if you have to make it up to have your girls back, have her damn back. But Sutton could not even do that. Sutton is very, very desperate in her attempt to join the Fox Force 5. Okay. And so she is willing to throw Garcelle under the bus to do that. And so, you know what? Good thing that Garcelle walked away from all of this. So according to Campfire sources, Garcelle actually stormed off at the reunion yesterday, and she refused to pose for a cast photo. I do not have I could have sworn I took a screenshot of the overall cast photo, but for some reason I am not finding it here. Oh yes. Okay, wait, here it is. Oh, I've got the cast photo, and you guys can see that there is no Garcelle in this photo. Okay. And so I do think that is confirmation. And we did see Erica and we did see Bose on Watch What Happens Live yesterday to address this controversy. And when Andy Cohen asked them how they felt about Garcelle walking away from the show, they were very silent and kind of smug about the whole thing. And then Erica did bring up the fact that Garcelle did not pose for the cast photo, which to her, even before the announcement and everything, meant that there would be no Garcelle for the following season, right? Which, I do think is a reasonable conclusion to come to when something like that happens. So give me a quick second. I am trying to pull up this photo and get it as a screenshot for you guys. In the meantime, this is a photo that we used when we were talking about their reunion looks yesterday. Listen, the color palette for this reunion was atrocious. However, Garcelle slayed. Maybe she knew that this was going to be her last reunion, and she said, I am done letting, I'm done playing small, whatever. I am going to use my full face card. Because one thing about Garcelle, if she had it together with her hair, makeup, and her clothes from the very beginning, none of these other ladies would have ever stood a chance. She is that girl, so to see her walk out on this level, cheers to her, right? So this is a cast. This is a group photo that everybody took after the reunion, and noticeably absent is Garcelle. So that is the end of Garcelle on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for now. However, one thing is that she said that Andy Cohen said that she has an open invitation to return to the show whenever she wants. So I do think that she probably just wants to take a little bit of a breather and then come back a little bit later on. April says Garcelle is too good for that show. I agree. Allie says Bose seems to be speaking on things and that's what I cannot stand. When a new person comes on and starts calling the shots and trying to examine all of these relationships and whatnot, as if they even know what they're talking about. You were not here to know about all of this stuff. So just watch and observe, without trying to act like like you've been here the whole time. Malen says they're the Fox 4 flunkies, period. And you know what? Malen is here backstage. Let me bring her up while I get to these last two comments from Steph and Jaleesa. Steph says, don't mess with a Haitian woman. When she's done, she's done. Yes, represent for the Haitians. Why don't you? I'm happy for Garcelle, and I really do hope that she is intending to come back, because this is just woof. Jaleesa says they look terrible. Listen, it's the color palette. The color palette was so damn dull. This is not a flattering color in general, especially not in the tones that they chose in them. God bless. They tried to make it work, but none of them could make it work on the level that Garcelle made it work. Hey, Milan, how are you? I think we might be having technical issues again. You might have to drop the call, then come back in, okay? I think Malen is ready to give us 2.0 of her opinion. Do you hear us, Malen?
Can you hear now?
I do. What do you think now that the tea is out? Uh-oh, your audio went out. Your audio went out. You might have to drop the call, then come back, okay? Ali says, all my business. That's right, girl. Ali's our fellow Haitian girl. We also have Boss Lady. Shout out to you, Boss Lady. If you are watching on the Playback Posse, shout out to all my Haitians over there. Listen, I love Garcelle, and I really, really do want to see her come back. I hate that it had to happen this way, especially when, she was always such a good ally to Sutton. But I'm glad that, at the very least, she started stepping back in the last 2 episodes of the show or the season, now that she clocked the way that Sutton never really had her back like that. So good for her on that front. Now, speaking of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, why don't we talk a little bit? Oh, I think Melen is back with her new audio. Let's see if this one works. Melen?
Can you hear me now?
I do. What do you think about all of this?
I'm very sad about it, especially for Garcelle not coming back. Mm-hmm. But I'm more upset with both because I felt like she and Dorit planned to ambush Garcelle.
Yeah.
With the racist thing, I felt like they sit at maybe at Dorit's house and talk about it and say we're gonna say because Garcelle always call us racist. We are all these things. But I have her best friend calling me angry. Let's do it. I feel like both is trying to have all the Karens of Bravo to come after Garcelle.
Yeah.
And she want to be the favorite of the Karens. I'm very sad about it. Have you see the picture? She was holding Dorit's hand and
yes, come on. Let me put up the picture right now so that people can see what you're talking about. That stuck out to me as well. I said, girl, you gotta give it up. For Dorit of all people, Dorit would throw you under the bus in a second. Look at what Dorit did to Lisa Vanderpump. Like,
yes, like it's very suspicious. Like she's trying to say I'm very confused about both. So all this is pro-black. I don't believe it a bit. Some people trying to cosplay to be pro-black so that they don't seem very out of touch. But that's I have about both and Dorit. I'm very disappointed. Like I hope Garcelle come back one day after they fired both.
Yeah. You know what? She might be the next one to get pushed out. She better not get too comfortable, because one thing about these girls in this group is that they are always ready to turn on the next one. They are pariahs. And, with her being the newest one and now her being, the resident Black girl, she might deal with the same microaggressions and the same issues that Garcelle dealt with, right? So good luck to you both. That was not a smart move. And we're going to see how that affects her moving forward for sure.
Yes. And thank you. I'm getting more comfortable to talking to you. I was a little bit nervous yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes. And thank you, Grace.
Of course. Thank you, Malen. Bye. Malen has such good intuition, and the rest of you guys in the chat as well, because y'all called it and you said both had something to do with this, but I was so delusional. I said no, it can't be Bose. Bose has been really putting a lot of Black businesses and people and stuff on the map here in Beverly Hills. It can't be her. But now, after getting this tea from Campire, listen, maybe Garcelle was onto something. It's so hard to accept, but it very well could be the case. And I'm disappointed. I wanted to see at least another season of Garcelle and Bose and just everybody. I was happy with the cast as it was, and now we're going to definitely feel Garcelle's absence here. Now, I want to do a quick little RHOBH recap with you guys, because yesterday was the finale episode and I got a couple things to say about it. And I want to know what y'all think as well. Okay. So, first of all, I did love the way that Garcelle pointed out to Sutton how Kyle didn't have her back when Dorit and Erica were attacking her. And I do also want to let you know that Garcelle is a true island gal, because like I said, normally she cannot dress. Maybe it's because she's in California. But as soon as she hits up the island, look at how beautifully this woman dresses. Everything was 100,000% on point when she was in St. Lucia, and I was here for it. She was the best dressed for sure with that look. Farrah said Sutton should quit now. She will have a target on her back. You know what? I want to see her ride it out with that target on her back because it is a very well-earned target. And now that she's got no one, maybe Jennifer Tully's going to stick around, maybe not. She seems a little bit bored with it all. She seems to be like on a different planet to these ladies, just in terms of like, you know, she doesn't take it too seriously. So I'm not sure if she's real, you know what I mean? But yeah, I want to see her. I low-key want to see her get what she deserves now. After what she did to Garcelle, using her as a shield and then discarding her like that. Ali says, both saying that she would sue. She needs to be off the show. And you know what? That's the thing, right? They're not even supposed to be suing each other on this show. So that is very weird that she would even be encouraging that, let alone bragging about the fact that she would take things to that level when the housewives aren't really supposed to be taking things to that level anyway. Theo says, I'm already casting everyone's replacements in my head. I'm so done with this current group of women. Drop the replacements. We need to know who you would put in. I don't know why I was about to tell y'all that Cammie Crawford was asked for Beverly Hills, but it's not true. She was asked for Housewives of Potomac and her mom as well. But I'm really curious about who would put into Beverly Hills. Can I tell y'all who I want to see? Tori Spelling. I don't know why, but like her shows used to be like filler shows to me, like back in the day on the E Network. And I like watched so many of them. And I actually like her vibe. Like, I know she's not the greatest person, whatever, but I would like to see her on Beverly Hills. And she's another person who truly grew up in Beverly Hills as well. What about you guys? Would you like to see Tori Spelling on the show? What about Kimora Lee Simmons? That could be interesting, though I don't know if she's living in Beverly Hills or if she's in New York or whatever, but I would love to see her as a housewife for sure. Cynthia, so nice to see you, girl. I hope you're able to keep your connection to us. And Stars here, paging in from Miami. Welcome to Miami. Bienvenidos a Miami. How is your trip going? I hope that you are having the greatest time there. I hope that your pillow is always cold. I hope that your cocktails are always hitting, and I hope that you are, you know, you're seeing some good eye candy over there in Miami, Star, like you deserve. Ali says, when I hit up the islands, I'm a whole other person. Listen, there's just something about it where you go to these like beautiful places, right? And you go, what the heck am I doing in this city? I could be living by the damn beach. Like, am I crazy? Am I freaking crazy? Right, I agree. Bose needs to be off the show. So it really looks like y'all want to get rid of her. And you know what? I'll give her another season. For now, I'll give her another season and then we'll see. But for now, I will say that I am disappointed. I cannot understand why somebody, you know, especially like a woman of color, would support somebody like Dorit who advocates for full-blown genocide. You know, like that's crazy to me. You know, and you're over here holding her hand. Are you okay? Like, that's weird. Ali wants to see Heidi Pratt. Are you talking about Heidi Montag? Is that what she goes by now, Heidi Pratt? You know what? That would be interesting. I would be down for that. You know, and we do see that they are trying to sort of like have like a hybrid model on the show, right? The OGs and then some like younger people coming in, although you're not really seeing too much of that in Beverly Hills, but I think that'd be interesting. How old is Heidi right now? I think she's still old enough to like fit in seamlessly with this group of girls, right? Like she's got to be like 38 now, 37, something like that. That'll be interesting, right? Michelle is here for Tori Spelling. Is Candy Spelling still kicking it? You know, she would be interesting to see with Kathy Hilton, right? Battle of the Riches, you know, the rich girls. Let's see, right? Wouldn't that be interesting? Good morning, Ramster. Hey, K-Car. Okay, so more love for Tori Spelling. I love that. Ali, speaking of Brody Jenner, yeah, what about Brody Jenner's mom? She has a crazy dating history, doesn't she? Like she was dating, like, wasn't she also connected to Yolanda Hadid's ex? Who's that guy with the piano? And he tells people to shut up if they're trying to sing along with him and he's on that piano. Like she used to be dating him too. And then she was with, you know, Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner as well. Like, oh my God. Wow, that would be very, very interesting, right? Okay, let's keep an eye out on this. Theo's casting is here. Rosalind Sanchez, Carmen Electra, Tina Chang Craig, Denise Richards, and just to ruin Kyle's self-esteem, threw in Lisa Vanderpump a center diamond. I choose violence today. Oh Lord, she would be fuming over both LVP and Denise Richards being there as well. Although I don't know who Rosalind Sanchez is, to be honest with you, but Carmen Electra is another really, really exciting one. That's a pretty good casting list, Theo. Good job. And Star, yes, you know what? We're all manifesting that for you. You deserve a good, rich hottie. That's what you deserve. Oh, David Foster. So David Foster. Okay, yeah. So that's Brody's mom used to be married to or dating David Foster as well. So I do think she would be a good person to join. And thank you, Ali. Apparently Heidi Montag is 38 years old. Angie, this is good. Pamela Lee Anderson would be really interesting too. If not, what about that new girl that's married to Tommy Lee? Wasn't she like a Vine star or something like that? I'd be interested in seeing her too. Guys, this casting stuff is sounding pretty interesting. I'm liking what y'all are throwing out here. Now, back to the Beverly Hills recap. You know, whenever I see Sutton's interactions with her assistant, Avi, I'm just thinking about how that, look at this man. He is exhausted. He had just closed the door, getting her out the door after her latest tantrum. She's exhausting just to watch how this man can manage her toddler like tantrums and moods like on a daily basis is insane to me. Whatever this man is being paid needs to be tripled, because again, look at this man's like look of just despair, exasperation. He is exhausted. He is ready for that girl to get out. One thing about Sutton is when she's good, right? She could be really funny, really great, really supportive. However, she is a carbon copy of her miserable mother. Like her, and y'all remember when they took us over there to see how she was living with her mom and whatnot, and Sutton was acting like her mom was like the most miserable hag ever, so difficult to be around. Meanwhile, she is copy paste of her mom. Like even the little comments where someone tries to say something nice about like something she's doing or wearing, and then she'll make this negative comment. You're like, dude, do you not see that you like all the things you hate about your mom exist in you? You know, people should not be looking like this every time they have just finished interacting with you. If people look this damn exhausted, worn out, like they're about to crawl to a bottle of hard liquor to cope with dealing with you, there is something wrong with the way that you behave, you know? And so when she went to that like birthday dinner for Erica and for Dorit, and she just sucked all of the air out of the room. When they were on the beach buying these little things and whatnot, then they sat up for the dinner. She was just there, you know, mean mugging, all that stuff, making all these weird little comments and stuff. Like, oh, she needs to learn to at least just like, you know, fake the funk. You know, of course, sometimes you have issues or whatever, but you fake the funk and you try to be a part of the group anyway. But if she's unhappy, nobody around her is allowed to be happy. To be honest, I low-key wonder what it was like for her kids growing up, because she sounds like a damn handful. She does. She sounds too much for me. She sounds like the type of person where you would always have to monitor her moods and stuff, because they are ever changing, you know. And I don't know how she does that. It's just too much. It's really, really toxic behavior. And I was really disappointed in her. However, I do have to point out to Jennifer Tilly. You know, Jennifer Tilly, I don't really care for the way this woman dresses either, but I thought she looked really lovely in this like cabana scene. I liked her little caftan, and I especially was obsessed with her sunglasses. I don't know if they're Schiaparelli as well, like the ring she was showing off, but they are so cute. They're so chic. They're so camp. They're so like, you know, casual rich lady here on vacation, you know, and I really, really, really love them. She looked absolutely amazing. And I thought that pink lipstick looked really beautiful on her as well. I did see another comment about that casting call. Michelle says she would like to see Snoop Dogg's wife over there. That would be interesting. Shantae Brodus, that would be really interesting indeed, right? I like that. Y'all are you guys are really good. You have like really good visions of like who could potentially join this show. Ali says that she feels bad for Avi, but he's collecting a check, a big one. Listen, as big as it is, I think they need to go ahead, double it, triple it, or something, because just watching Sutton 1 hour a week, she's not even on the screen for that whole hour. She's only on for maybe 10 minutes, is exhausting to me. I cannot fathom having to travel, all that stuff, and do things for her. Nightmare. Malen says that Jennifer Tilly dresses poor rich. She's so camp, isn't she? Like, she's bragging about all these things being couture, this, that, and the other. But it's like, I'm sorry, girl, you cannot dress to save your life. But I'm happy if you're happy. Listen, get all the labels you want. You deserve them, girl. You deserve them. Oh, to be living that life, to be cutting a Simpsons check. Oh, I would be so damn thrilled. Hey, Acacia's here. We missed you, girl. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Acacia just finished her it's not a certification. She was doing this online school and lessons and stuff like that for like becoming a florist and doing all these bouquets. And I've been following her journey on YouTube, and she just finished it, you guys. Check out her channel if you want to see how all of that has come along. Such beautiful, beautiful bouquets. Nice to see you again. Alice says, I feel like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills could transform into the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. No, the Real Lives of Beverly Hills, which they could have include men as diamond holders. You know what, Ali? I do wonder if that could actually be the future, because you do see them start to film like, separate things for the men. And then we also see like specials for the men and stuff like that, especially in Jersey, right? Then we saw that in Atlanta. Now here in Beverly Hills, we're seeing Mauricio and PK bond over things. That could be interesting. But don't forget, Ali, they don't really have men in Beverly Hills anymore, right? Like Garcelle, she's gone now, but she was single. Erica, her man's about to be, a geriatric convict. Then you got who else? Jennifer Tilly, she's got a boyfriend, but she won't even show the boyfriend casually. Bo, she's got this boyfriend that I'm hoping is just an actor, because what the heck is that? Kyle, she's going through the divorce. Dorit as well. Sutton, she's single as well. She's trying to date, but it's just not sticking. So they wouldn't really be able to find too many men to film with. But I do think that could be the potential of the future of the Real Housewives, or perhaps the Real House husbands or something like that becoming a thing as well. I don't know, but I do think that there is something very fascinating that could happen down the line in regards to all of that. You guys, Prince Harry, did you hear this story? He was a founder of a charity by the name of Sentabale. And unfortunately, he had to make the, quote, devastating decision to resign from his charity because of all of the infighting in the organization. There was a huge scandal that broke out. And so he's just trying to do his best to get the person to step down. But unfortunately, the person refused to step down. And so now Prince Harry has stepped down on his own. So this story is courtesy of CBS News. Just as a reminder, Prince Harry founded this charity back in 2006. So he's 19 years in, so close to celebrating 20 years of this charity that he founded in Lesotho to fight HIV and AIDS and to help children who have HIV and AIDS. And so he did signal that he was in a state of shock over having to step down from his charity, especially because it was something that he founded in honor of his late mother, Princess Diana. And he's saying that this is sort of a forget-me-not. He's sorry that it has to be this way, but this is something that has to be done nonetheless. Quote, with heavy hearts, we have resigned from our roles as patrons of the organization until further notice, in support of and solidarity with the board of trustees who have had to do the same. It is devastating that the relationship between the charity's trustees and the chair of the board broke down beyond repair, creating an untenable situation. What's transpired is unthinkable. We are in shock that we have to do this, but we have a continued responsibility to Sentabale's beneficiaries. So we will be sharing all of our concerns with the Charity Commission as to how this came about. Wow. I'm very sad for him about what happened. Again, this is such a beloved charity of his, and any scandal that's associated with a charity especially is very, very devastating. But now with Prince Harry's name particularly being attached, you already know how the press likes to pick at him as much as possible, right? So I just having this on top of all of that, I think he made the right decision to step back. And he is highlighting that, hey, this is not permanent, right? When he did the whole forget-me-not sort of a thing, he's saying that this is just, something that we're doing right now to mitigate the issues. And I think that they're still working. Remember, they're going towards the Charity Commission to help further investigate the situation. And then I think maybe if the person who's responsible for the controversies and the issues that this charity has been suffering from ultimately leaves or gets fired, he would potentially return. I personally think that he will return, but I want to know what you guys think about it. Okay, you guys. So just as a reminder, I'm trying to remember what actually even happened to the charity in the first place. For some reason, I cannot remember what happened. I know that we did this big story on it back in the day, but I'm trying to remember what happened, you guys, with the charity. I know that there was infighting, but I feel like it's a bit more than that. I don't think that it's just infighting. I think that there was a certain level of corruption that went down as well. No? Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me see really quickly here. Hang on, you guys. I'm going to pull up a screen share with you guys so that you guys can see as well what I'm seeing, because for some reason they're not talking about what actually went down. So I was on CBS, but now this time I am going to be checking this out on the New York Post. Allow all. Let's see. Are you guys able to see my screen? There we go. The Duke founded this charity. Yes, translates to forget me not. Okay. Situation transpired. There was misogyny, poor governance, weak executive management, abuse of power, bullying, harassment, misogyny, misogynoir, and a cover-up as well. So sorry to hear this. You know, at the end of the day, this charity was founded for the protection and the benefits of young children in Lesotho who are living with HIV and AIDS. And just to hear that it's been mired by this sort of a situation is very, very saddening. And you would think that somebody who joined this charity, right, in honor of helping children and stuff, would walk away, but no, they're trying to hang in there, and they don't really care anymore about the children. It's more about ego at this point. Theo says, I've watched all reality, like the Friends of WeHo, A-List. New York didn't get much support, unfortunately. Theo says, one of my sisters is obsessed with Harry and Meghan, and I started dragging her. Reminded me of this channel, Harry and Meghan. April says, what's happening with all these charities? So many are crashing. You know, that's the thing with charities. And my father used to work for a charity. He worked with World Vision, and the stories I heard about World Vision, honestly, they've always made me look at charities sideways, right? And you're always hearing about these controversies and whatnot, and it is rather unfortunate. You want to support, right? There have been so many causes that have happened, right? And I think you should always do this whenever there's a cause that is close to your heart and you really want to support financially or with your time or something like that, to really look into how things are dispersed in this charity. And sometimes you will be surprised. You know, I do remember with something happening recently, and I went and I looked at charities I could support, but like in doing deep dives on some of these charities, like it's very sad how some of them are put in place to profit off of people's kindness. I'm not saying that that's the case with Santa Ballet, definitely not. However, somebody who made their way into that organization, infiltrated it, unfortunately kind of tainted the whole thing. Gracie says, it's very sad to hear about Prince Harry and CISO chair. I hope it gets resolved. So do I. Does Harry have hair plugs? I don't think so, because I think he still has a bald spot. So I don't think so. I don't know where you would say this from, but he still has a bald spot. So if he does, it's not working. Grace, don't sort from the Post. They are anti-Harry. Oh, Lord. You know, it's so damn difficult to with the press. I don't know why they have such a hard on for these people who are simply trying to help people to leave the world a better place than they left it. It's just all so strange and all so sad. But fingers crossed that everything works out with Harry. Again, in his statement, he made it clear that this is something that they're still trying to work out behind the scenes. So I do think that when they're eventually able to get this person off of the board, I do think that Harry will come back, because this is a charity that was founded in honor of his late mother. I don't think he would just throw his hands up and walk away like that. Y'all listen, I need a water break. Okay, which means that we have a word from some of our sponsors. And then on the flip side, we're going to come back with more stories, including Devin clapping back at claims made by his ex-fiancee, Virginia. And he has a bunch of quote unquote receipts that he wants to be sharing. And so all of this came out in the form of an Instagram Q&A that he was doing. And lastly, we've also got to talk about Meghan Markle and Gwyneth Paltrow linking up on the gram, despite all of the press rumors about them supposedly having some sort of a feud. If you're enjoying this show, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and I'll catch you on the flip side. The Morning Report is brought to you by Philo. Watch your favorite shows and movies from over 70 different channels, including MTV, TLC, WeTV, and more for only $28 a month. Get a free trial today by clicking the link in the description box of this video to get your free trial up and running. Are you looking for the perfect skincare products for women over 30? Look no further than Ruthia. Ruthia is a skincare brand born from love and made for parents. Their flagship product, the Resilience Cream, delivers clinically proven age prevention benefits such as average 14% wrinkle reduction after 4 weeks of use. Click the link below and receive 30% off your first purchase today. All right, y'all, we are back. Why don't we get into the Love is Blind drama? So season 8 of Love is Blind was not interesting at all. Total snooze fest. However, the stuff that's coming out post show is actually rather juicy, if I do say so myself. So y'all remember Devin, he was engaged to Virginia. Virginia wanted a prenup and whatnot, and he was kind of like shaking in his boots at the thought of signing a prenup because I guess he thought he hit a lick with her. Well, she recently did a podcast interview. I don't know if y'all listen to the podcast, but AD, who was engaged to Clay on her season and is now engaged to Ollie from Love is Blind UK, she's got a podcast, and I actually think it's backed and financed by Netflix because it's a really big production and it just came out. Right. And they're funneling all of their Netflix stars to her. So, shout out to her for getting such an amazing deal. Right. So Virginia appeared on AD's podcast. And by the way, I did listen to this episode and I am about to finish up the episode featuring Ben as well. I do recommend it. It's very well done. So AD talked about how when she was with Devin, she paid for everything. The man was a scrub. He's a traditional conservative man, right, who believes in all of these gender roles, except for the one that says he needs to be earning the money and taking care of a woman. He thinks that the woman needs to be earning money and taking care of him, apparently, right? So she also said that he had some sorts of bigoted views against other religions. And now Devin is speaking out against all of that in a series of Instagram stories that he shared just the other night. And I thought it would be rather interesting to go through them with you, shall we? So this is a photo of burnt pizza. And someone asked him, did Virginia really pay for all the dates? He said, every date we went on was paid for by the show. I will say she paid for the groceries while we were living in the apartment together, but I paid for everything else around the apartment, like laundry detergent, toilet paper, bottled water for us to drink, etc. But because we agreed that we wanted to do things 50-50, so this narrative that she paid for everything just isn't the case. And also, don't fall asleep with the pizza in the oven. All right. But here's the thing. They did go on dates outside of the show, right? So anything that was filmed, of course, was paid for by Netflix, but Virginia was talking about the things that were not filmed. And so he very cleverly negated to answer that. So I do believe that he was paying for groceries and whatnot, but I do also believe that she was paying for dates that were not filmed. And then someone said, are you ever going to tell your story? P.S. You dodged a bullet. Signed, a fan. LOL. I guess the person's laughing about being a fan of Devin. Devin says, yeah, I go back and forth about this. I've been thinking about making a video talking about some of the narratives that people have in mind about me and addressing them, telling my thoughts / perspective on them. Is that something you'd be interested in? Yeah, of course. I think that everybody who goes on the show or any show has the right and should exercise their right to share their side of the story, especially when a narrative that is so detrimental to you is being spread, right? Like the things that Virginia is saying about Devin, they're really big things. They could be things that make him a social outcast, pariah. They could affect his career as well, right? Especially when he's dealing with women. Isn't his whole job to be like a basketball coach for like women or something like that? Meanwhile, he allegedly has these views and beliefs that are supposedly anti-women. You should clear the air, shouldn't you? Right? In my opinion, anyway. Mick says 50-50 jump scare. April says 50-50 is not traditional. Exactly. These guys, they're very like anything that benefits them. They're traditional on anything that benefits them. But when it comes to them actually stepping up as a man and taking care of a woman, all of a sudden they're more modern when it comes to those sorts of things. It's all about for their own personal benefit. And real quickly, before we continue, I'm seeing some of you guys' comments loading in now about like charities and scandals. Like it's a lot. You really have to do your due diligence when it comes to charities that you want to support, because, some people do take advantage of people's kindness and generosity. And, like Theo says, there have been scandals involving YouTubers and charities. But here's the thing. Some of these YouTubers, they've been scamming. Like they know damn well that they're not doing the right thing. So I don't think that for them, it's like, one of these like, oops, my bad. I think that half the time when they get caught up in something, it's a financial scheme on their end. And yeah, the stories I have are actually really, really, really disappointing, because I grew up with a lot of these World Vision commercials on TV. So they really would pull at people's heartstrings. And so many people in organizations would work with them. But if y'all knew what was happening behind the scenes with that money. And right, Ramster, I think Oprah is a good person. She definitely wouldn't have wanted for the children in her schools to be assaulted or anything like that. But unfortunately, again, something about charities attracts very narcissistic, very just icky people to take advantage of vulnerable people. And again, I don't fault Harry for what happened in his charity. I don't fault Oprah for what happened in her charity. Unfortunately, it's the people that, worked for them who have caused these issues. Now, back to Devin's Q&A. Someone asked or said, self-care tips for Black men waiting for their person, to which Devin responded, I would just say to continue to work on yourself until the right person comes along. Make sure that you're mentally and emotionally prepared. Be in a good space about how you feel about yourself. And the biggest thing is putting God in the forefront. Build a relationship with God and talk with him about what kind of woman you're looking for, and just be patient. He may not come when you think you need him to, but he'll be right there on time. Somebody else asked him if he regretted the decisions that he made. He said, no, don't have any regrets at all. Even though I didn't get what I wanted out of the show, to find my person, to get married, I felt that I was true to myself, and I ended up making so many friends that are going to last a lifetime. So no regrets whatsoever. Now, when it comes to the race or ethnicity of the women that he dates, oops, here it is. Someone asked, is it true you only date white women? To which he responds, no, this isn't true at all. And I have no idea where that even came from. I've dated women of color. And now people asking about his financial situation. Is he broke? How does he feel about people saying he's broke? He says it's funny to him. I don't know why people assume that. All I know is I wouldn't be able to afford to live in a 1-bedroom apartment all by myself, pay my bills myself, and buy all my shoes myself if I was broke. Listen, you'd be surprised. You could do a lot of things while you're broke. It's called credit cards, right? And credit card debt. But I digress. And so when somebody asked him why he didn't give Virginia the check, he said that there was so much going on during that time with coaching in a state championship game. So it's excuses, right? Basically, the last thing on his mind was the check, and he wasn't actually trying to hide it. But that's just how the chips fell in that situation. I don't know if I believe him. Then he gives a little bit of info about how long the pod dates last. So varied in length, anything from 10 minutes to 3 hours as well. And I had a screenshot of this, but it's deleted apparently. Somebody else had asked him if he really ghosted Virginia after the show. And he said it's not true. They had multiple conversations, and those conversations weren't leading to how we were going to make things work together. So eventually there's a realization that we clearly weren't meant to be, and it was just best that we move on. Well, here's my thing that I don't understand about Virginia and Sarah is that they say that these men are bigots, and these men are sexist, and these men are stingy, and all sorts of things. Yet they're over here crying about these men ghosting them. How do these men have the opportunity to ghost you? Like, if these things are against your principles, why are you not ghosting them? Like, come on, girls, stand on business. You should never adjust your principles just to be with a man. There are a million men everywhere, right? Like, it's never that damn serious. You shouldn't have to, right? Ali says, if I pay to go 50-50, that's what I say. I do not get the appeal. Most women these days, right, can pay 100% of their own bills. So why would I live with a man, gain all that weight? Because y'all know, no offense to the men, but when you live with a man, you start gaining weight because these men always want to eat something. They don't believe in girl dinner. So, and then like the mess, the toilet seat up, just having to answer this. Like, why would I deal with that for 50-50? Like, sorry, no, thank you. No, thank you. Right? Absolutely freaking not. Yes, it's called Going Dutch indeed, Ramster. I wonder speaking of Dutch, I wonder if we're going to get a Love is Blind. Why am I thinking Allemagne? No, when are we going to Netherlands or something like that? Cara says, not his quoting on time, God, period. And so that's something that they really bonded over in the pods, he and Virginia, like their faith and stuff. But to her, like, faith just meant loving God. But like to him, it meant loving God. women are allegedly less than men, this and that, like other religions are irrelevant and invalid and stuff like that. Just a mess, right? Mick says he dates women with a wallet regardless of race. Yep, I think that's what it is. He wants to come up, and that's what Virginia said in the podcast with AD, that he came up off of her because even for his birthday, she gave him like $600-700 worth of gifts and stuff, and like he kind of was like thanks and bounced and ghosted her. Like, oops. Theo, what is girl dinner? So girl dinner is when, sometimes you eat during the day and you're not really hungry at night, but you want to just have something in your stomach anyway. And you maybe you'll have some popcorn. Maybe you'll have like a chicken nugget. Maybe you'll have like water, maybe you'll have like a little chocolate bar for dessert, and that's your dinner. Maybe you'll have some crackers and some cheese. And, just like, it's just like a snacking, grazing for dinner, and it's something that a lot of women love to do. But when you're in a relationship with a man, they always want to eat full blown meals. And this is why a lot of women like gain weight in these relationships and whatnot, right? So yeah, girl dinner is this huge, I don't know if you have a TikTok, but definitely check it out. There's so many things about girl dinner. I used to think it was just like a me thing. Like I was like, oh, maybe I have a problem or something, but like just finding community in that, and that like it's so common and normal in girls and women has been really like the highlight of my year so far, to be honest with you. And yeah, Britt, we're not doing 50-50 over here. Absolutely freaking not. Girl dinner cocktail. Yup. Maybe something like that. Steph says facts. When my hubby is home for the weekend from work, all he wants to do is eat. Right? Messes up my whole week of clean eating. It's terrible. You know what I do now, especially now that I've got this from my coach sportif, from my personal trainer. I go to a store called Picard, and they have pre-portioned, pre-everything food in like full-blown meals. So I go and I buy 3 to eat per day. And I know exactly how many calories, I know exactly how many grams of XYZ are in it. And then when I'm snacking, I'm eating bananas, or I'm eating carrots, or I'm eating dates, or I'm eating Greek yogurt, these sorts of things. And then everything else, somebody wants to eat this, that, they can make it for themselves. I do not want to be bothered. And, because I have everything already, no worries about that, right? Life hack, girls. Get your own food, get it pre-made on the side, so that way you have no damn problems. Acacia says, so true, girl dinner, 1 piece of bread and chicken salad. Ooh, I love a chicken salad. Now you've got my mouth watering for chicken. Costco has the best chicken. I don't know if y'all have the Costco chicken salad in the US, but I love that in Canada. Ferris says the way he treated Brittany was telling of his character. I agree. Like, I think he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. And I think that, Virginia did a great job of unmasking him. Julissa says, my girl dinner the other night was popcorn and my cocktail. Love, love, love that. See, girl dinner is what it's all about, y'all. I love it. Like, don't force, like if you're not feeling it, like have something light and, just to have something in your belly. Now, for our final story of the day, we got to talk about Miss Meghan Markle linking up with Gwyneth Paltrow, which was a twist I was not expecting, but I was really happy to see because, like I mentioned at the top of the morning report, the press has been trying to just use anybody to compare against Meghan, to put down Meghan, right? So first they did the whole Martha Stewart. Martha Stewart's the OG of this, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? I love Martha Stewart. I loved her documentary on Netflix. She actually reminds me a lot of Meghan, just two, very like beautiful, smart, elegant ladies, just such clean taste and stuff, clean aesthetics, and who are just incredibly talented and amazing hostesses, right? So, by the way, Martha Stewart did come out in support of Meghan, and she did a one-pot pasta recipe like Meghan had promoted on her show as well. So that was really cool. And now they did the same thing with Gwyneth Paltrow. They said, oh, Meghan is copying Gwyneth. Gwyneth is so pissed. She's the OG of this blah, 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 this niche. And now Gwyneth Paltrow has entered the chat via Instagram. Take a look at what she posted just the other day.
I genuinely do not understand this at all whatsoever. Do you understand this?
There she is. I am loving the girl power. All of these fake stories about these people like low-key secretly hating this girl, and they're over here saying, we like this girl. I'm making her one-pot pasta. I've got her in my kitchen right now. I love, love, love that for her. Just this weird, relentless attack on this girl is just so pathetic. It's so old. It's so tired. And so I'm really happy to see people walking away from that. Steph, the Diddy story. I completely forgot about the Diddy story. Oh, How could I forget? Thank you, because I thought this was my final story. Thank you. Let me bookmark this and find that damn story. It's not here in my notes right now, but you're right. I do owe you guys a Diddy story. Ramster's a fellow girl dinner lover. Me too. I had no idea. I thought it was just me. Ali says, Gwyneth took shots about Meghan via Goop. Oh, did she? Another influencer that she promotes her program, or did she say something and then it got like twisted into being about Meghan particularly or something like that, right? April says, I love Martha, Meghan, and Gwen. I don't get the hate. It's so weird. And you know what? Again, it always comes to, is a woman too beautiful? Is she too rich? Is she too perfect? Because that's the vibe I got when I saw the Martha Stewart documentary as well. And I see that happening again with Meghan. And you see that happen with many other women as well, just in general. It's always women that have these weird hate campaigns against them and never meant. Joy says, I love Gwen for that. Me too. You know, me too. Me too. And thank you, Ramster. What did the diddler do this time? So Steph, Ramster, thank y'all for reminding me. Let me put my drink down. And let me see what the heck I wanted to tell y'all about Diddy. Because word on the street, do you guys remember Lil Rod? He was an artist and a producer who had made allegations against Diddy and his sons, right? He said that he was at a recording studio. Diddy forced him to do some things with like men at the recording studio and stuff. And it was just really, really disgusting, really depraved activities, right? And then he filed that massive lawsuit against Diddy. It was a very, very big lawsuit. And now, come to find out, 5 out of the 9 claims that Lil Rod made about SA against Diddy were dismissed by the judge. So unfortunately, Diddy won big in this lawsuit. And listen, 4 of the charges are still there, not charges, but allegations. But the majority of them have been dismissed against Diddy. So he's still going to be continuing to fight this. But I do think that there's still a chance that there can be some justice there for Lil Rod, if, of course, what he's saying is true. I don't know, you guys, but all of this stuff, remember that the lawsuit, the Jane Doe from Tony Busby and that whole thing just being like this crock of whatever. And now this, and then there was another woman who had made some claims against Diddy. Then like her ex came and said that she was a fraud, and then she had to pull back her claims and stuff. I don't know. Of course, I think Diddy is a terrible person. Of course, I think he's going to go to jail for like ever, for prison or whatever, for life. But I'm starting to wonder about what's going on the civil side of things. Like, is everybody okay? Like, what's happening there? You know, are people lying? And if they're lying, do they realize that they could really taint all of this for like real victims? Because now people who already just in general want to always support AB users, they want to dismiss all of this. But now as these civil suits are falling one by one, so far the only one that has really held up is the Cassie one. I'm starting to look at these people a little sideways, and I hate that I'm starting to, but I am. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same way, you know, and I'm hoping that everything on the criminal side sticks, but on the civil side, I don't know. Not feeling too good right now. Ramster says Gwyneth and Meghan put an end to the gossip and exactly. I loved it. Good for them. We got to stop trying to pit women against each other. It's old. It's tired. It is, right? Yes, Brittany. It was such a good documentary. I didn't even know too much about Martha's show, but I love that documentary. Ali says, I'm happy I can enjoy Antigua without Diddy lurking. Indeed. And Steph is a little bit disappointed, it seems. 5 out of 9. Me too. Like, was this guy lying this whole time? Someone said, Malen says that his lawyer is the Black Tony Busby. Oh God, what's happening, you guys? His name is Tyrone Blackburn. He sued Nicki Minaj, T.I., basically all the Black celebrities. So why would this guy go and do this to his own reputation? Because Lil Rod was a producer. You know, now he's saying that he has $0, no form of income. He's saying that he can't even walk in public without like a disguise because he's scared that Diddy's goons are going to get him. I'm low-key now wondering, like, is he okay, like, mentally? Like, is all of this, and you know what I mean? And I hate that I'm even questioning this or wondering, but that's the way that I'm starting to think now that all of these cases are starting to fall apart. Very weird stuff. But the thing is, the feds would not go and charge you, especially with these major charges, if they didn't have a lot of reason to believe that you were guilty. So I'm definitely still holding out faith on the criminal side, but civil side's looking shaky, y'all. Deborah says some people are out just for money, unfortunately, right? Unfortunately. Steph says these people are all trying to milk the situation. Yeah, and are going to mess it up for everyone. And I hate that. You only have one chance to get this right. And the idea that all of this stuff can come in the way of this and like taint the jury pool and just all of this for nothing, like it's crazy. Because this is the stuff you're hearing so much about on the criminal front. They've done such a good job of keeping it shut because they're trying to get a good jury pool, right? But like the civil people, tainting everything. They could really, really jeopardize justice for people on the criminal front. Lemourou says, morning, not much other to say than love you, girl. Oh, thank you so much. Love you too. Good morning, sunshine. It's so nice to have you here. Acacia says, just like the girl lied, yeah, that she was 13, the dad didn't remember the drive. None of the witnesses can corroborate her story. Then she said, on audio that, she was forced to claim Jay-Z was there. Just a bunch of nonsense. Caroline says, what will he be scared when he cashes the check? Oh. Is that what's happening? They're just trying to get like a payout, like in the frenzy of all of this, trying to slip these like little things under the radar. Joy says, it's so frustrating to think that Diddy will get away with so much because of the shakedown lawyer. I agree. Don't forget that the 1-800 lawyer, Jay-Z, he was a mess for that, but he put his foot in that nickname. The 1-800 lawyer, he wasn't even like, he's not even licensed to practice in the Southern District of New York, yet he was so desperate for press that he took all of these clients knowing he wasn't able to practice there. And now he's like, actually, you know what? I can't practice here. I'm dropping these. Like, are these people okay? They are so weird. They are so damn weird. Steph says, Lil Rod is mad he got by Young Miami's cousin. So now he's, is that the tea? I'm going to have to look into that because I'm not up to date on that. April says, Tyra, yeah, that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Caroline says, check out Tisa Tells, that lady's being threatened. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to give my girl Tisa a look and see what's going on over there with that story. But as of now, I'm just not buying that girl in her story. And I'm disappointed to even feel this way because I hate to cast doubt on things that are this serious, By the way, you guys, if you're enjoying the morning report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Just as a reminder, you guys, only 4 more days, I think, until my time zone changes and we're back to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? Carly says, hi, Grace, big fan of yours. I love your voice. When are you doing your Teen Mom reviews? Thank you, Carly. That's so nice. It's funny. I actually finished cutting up my recap of the last 2 Teen Mom episodes. Now I just have to put the photos in it, and then that'll be out today. Thank you so much for joining us on the morning report. Len says, and the judge also schooled Tyra. Oh, I'm going to look into that. I want to see, because this is not looking good, y'all. It really isn't, and I'm disappointed. I really thought that all these people, and that's, shame on me, right? Sometimes you feel so naive because you think about yourself. Would you, when you see that somebody, right, who's being accused of heinous acts against people, and when footage and evidence like this comes out showing just how terrible of a person this person is, right? Would you look at this and go, oh, this is an opportunity for me to get rich? I can make something up. But like, no, you or I wouldn't do that. So we automatically assume and believe people, when they come forward with their own stories about this man, especially because these stories have been lurking for decades, right? Without any lawsuits being filed. I believed all these people, but now I'm looking at all of them sideways, unfortunately. And I really, really hate to admit that, but it is the truth. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining me for another episode of the Morning Report. Yeah, we did. Listen, we got a lot to talk about. Big Gulp. Maybe I should be calling her Big Meth, the way that she is with her eyes these days when she's getting high. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you enjoyed the morning report, please don't hesitate to go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'll catch you again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for more of the day's hottest stories. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.